Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Tia here. If you are new, please like and subscribe. But for today's video, I'm going to be talking about my top 10 favorite Netflix shows, and I'm going to do my makeup at the same time. So let's get into it. So the first show I'm going to talk about is obviously Black Mirror. I feel like Black Mirror, it came out feels like a couple years ago, but it's probably way longer. But pretty much I found out of it from my sister because she's like into watching weird stuff like that. And I originally thought it was a scary show because obviously it's called Black Mirror and all that stuff. But then she told me it's like, 10, I think it's like 10 episodes, and they're all like different storylines, basically different actors each episode and everything. Then once I actually got into it, it's actually super interesting, and all the plot lines are really put together well. I don't know, my favorite episode was probably the one with Letitia Wright in it from Black Panther. Y'all know her. But yeah, overall it's like a really good series. It's interesting. Like there's plenty of different episodes. If you don't like one, you can watch another one. So I really liked it, and I feel like it's one of the most interesting series that Netflix has like ever put out. So the second show I have is a show called You. Y'all have probably seen the memes on like TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, literally everywhere. But You is basically like, it's like a murder mystery type vibe, but it's like from the POV of the murderer. And I feel like that's so cool because usually you see like the innocent characters have like, they're telling the storyline or whatever, and then like they just get killed or whatever. But this one is actually from the POV of the guy who does the murdering, and he's like narrating it, and it's just like really interesting to see how he thinks and how he comes up with things. And he basically kills out of love, that's what he says, but at the same time he be killing hella people. But You is on season 4 right now. Pretty much I feel like the first one was okay, like because that actually got me into the show, but the second one and third one I feel like were the best seasons, and now it's on the 4th season. And I watched the 4th season. The 4th one I wouldn't say is as good as the rest, but at the same time it's like, I don't know, I feel like once you do so many seasons of a show, you can't really top the first season. Like people say like the first one is always going to be the best, and then like, second, third, blah blah blah. But You is like a really good show. It's like murder mystery vibes, and of course like I like watching shows like Criminal Minds and Law and Order, so that's pretty much the reason why I started watching it. And I was like, you know what, this is gonna be good because the trailer looks good, the whole series turned out to be good as a whole, I feel like. And I feel like it's also one of Netflix's top watch shows, up in there in the category with like Stranger Things and all that. But surprisingly, Stranger Things is not on my list. And I don't know, Stranger Things is just, it's too scary for me to watch, and it's like mainly about kids, so I feel like I just never really got into it. Like I watched the first couple seasons, but then I just like fell off and I gave up watching it. But yeah, the next show that I have is a show called All American. I didn't really think I was gonna like this show because it is about like, a football player, and he's like in it, he lives in like the bad parts, but then he ends up moving to like, what is it, like LA I think, which is like the rich people area, and then he plays for that team and blah blah blah. And then there's like all the character development in it and everything. But I didn't really think I would like it because it is a show based all around football, but at the same time like I feel like they incorporated the drama well into it because it is about like high schoolers, but at the same time there's like different like love plots, and it's like the kind of thing where like all the popular people be dating each other. They just be like switching out boyfriends, dating the whole group basically. But yeah, overall I don't know what season is on right now because I don't have, well, I have cable, I just don't freaking watch it. But I don't know what season is on right now, but it's still going, and I'm pretty sure it's on like the 5th season. And people tend to really like it for the drama because obviously like they probably made it to the point where both genders can watch. That's why they have like football in it as well as like the drama for the girls, I don't know, something like that. But I feel like overall it is a good show. And then even back in 2020, they did like multiple episodes about like Black Lives Matter and like police brutality and stuff. So like the show definitely brings awareness to you know, stuff that's actually going on in the real world, and like the timelines match up, like 2022, like the years and everything. So I think that's pretty cool, because usually people just assume that like these shows be taking place like in early 2000s or like modern days or whatever, but like this show is actually up to date, and I think that's really cool. And then at the same time, I do like it because the cast is obviously like 99% black, and like you don't really see that a lot. So that's like one of the other main reasons why I do watch it, because I like shows with diversity. And I know like some diversity is forced and everything, but like at least they're doing it, you know, like whether it's forced or not. So I appreciate them doing that. But yeah, there's not even that much white people in the show, and I love that. Next show I have is it's probably controversial, whatever, but I feel like Manifest is a good show. I don't know. I feel like there was a lot of episodes and it was like maybe 5 seasons, but overall, like every episode I feel like was actually pretty decent. Like there was good acting like from the adults and the children in the show. But this show is basically about like Flight 828 disappears for like 5 years. All the people come back, basically like, you know, Avengers did with Infinity War. Like people just come back even though like time 5 years has passed or whatever, and then they're basically trying to like figure out like why they disappeared for 5 years and whatever. And then like stuff comes out, and apparently like there's like something going on where they die within like a certain amount of time frame. So they're basically trying to like hurry up and solve this thing so that they won't die, like everyone on the flight or whatever. And then there's like this whole like conspiracy thing where the normal people, they're like freaked out by like the 828 people, because obviously like that's kind of creepy if you have like a whole missing flight of people that suddenly come back after 5 years. You know, you're gonna be thinking like, are they aliens? Do they have superpowers? Whatever. So the whole show is pretty interesting. And then like it kind of threw me off because like I'm not like a religious person like that. But it kind of threw me off when they started taking the religious route, but I guess that was the route all along and I just didn't realize it. But apparently they started to tie in like how God came up with like the death date of the passengers, and then like there's like symbols for everything. And then they started like referencing the Bible, and that's when it kind of like started throwing me off, because like I said, I'm not religious, so I can't really reference those things. Like I don't know what happens in the Bible and the verses and whatever. But yeah, that's the kind of route that it took. And then like I think there's supposed to be another season 2, because I feel like it ended on like a cliffhanger type thing. So I don't know if they were going to do another season or if it's supposed to be coming out like eventually. But yeah, overall I feel like it's pretty interesting. There is a lot of like jump scare moments, and it's not like a scary show, but I still feel like I would like watch it at night, and I had to like watch a cartoon after I watched it, because it's like some serious type episodes, and it's pretty interesting, and there's a bunch of like mysteries and solving, and it's like you're always on your feet and everything. So overall that show is pretty good. Okay, the next show I have for y'all is a show called Atypical. I feel like not a lot of people have heard about this, and I only think it has like 3 seasons maybe, but it's basically about this kid, and he has autism. He's in high school, and I'm not sure if like the actual actor has autism or whatever, if he's just acting whatever, but he is a really good actor, and he basically has autism, and you know, it shows like his struggles with it, how he works with it and manages it, and then like his family situation as well. And then like obviously there's drama because they are in high school and everything, but it's pretty interesting. I say it's like kind of like that show called like Young Sheldon on TV. I think how he's like super smart and like, but he's a kid. I don't know, whatever. So it basically just shows his life with autism, and I found it pretty interesting because I don't know. I have known people with autism, but like not super like on the spectrum like that, and it is interesting to see like how he thinks about stuff and like solves problems and everything, as well as like the family situations and the family struggles that come with it. And then like I do love the drama between it, because like he has like a teenage sister in the show, and then like she is confused on if she's like a lesbian or not, or maybe she's bi, whatever. So it's like the whole plot line with her is pretty interesting. And overall, yeah, I do recommend that show because it's like cute at times and it also like spreads awareness about autism. So I found that to be pretty interesting. The next show, probably one of my top faves, this one is called Dear White People. So as y'all can clearly tell, I'm Black. I like watching shows with diversity, as I said, and I found this show a couple years ago when it first came out. The lead actress is Samantha Logan. She's like not that popular, but she did play Sasha in the Bratz movie, and like I liked her in that movie, and I was like, you know what, let me just watch this because it seems like she has her own show now. And I just love when like actors from my childhood, like they get their own show, because I'm like, oh, like I've seen them before, let me watch this. But pretty much it's a show where the main character, she has like, it's like an HBCU, and there's like a lot of issues within that. Like it talks about like PWIs and like the HBCU culture and all that. But basically she has a podcast and it's called Dear White People, and she basically like talks about them showing their racism and everything. Because obviously like there are some like white people on the campus, and like they be having like racist parties, and it talks about like saying the N-word and like all like literally it's like kind of educational. But I really liked it for the drama, of course, the plot. There's a lot of fine men in that show. And so basically it's like it talks about like the school like threatening to like shut down her podcast because she's bringing awareness to like all of these issues. And then like she's kind of involved with like these two guys, bro. It is like, it's like a good like love story type thing. I suggest it. Is like, once again, it's kind of like a group of people that they kind of like all have crushes on each other, then they all like date each other, that typical like stuff. But it's like college edition. So they do they say bad words in that show? I don't even remember if they say bad words, but I feel like it was like relatable because I know that these actors are obviously like older, but they're playing like college students, and that was like the time that I was watching the show. So for me it was like super relatable, and like I was at a PWI and I was like, oh, like this show is cool because it shows like the HBCU culture and everything. So I got to learn about that. But yeah, overall it is like a really interesting show. The next show I have is called Sex Education. So this one is pretty like a raunchy show. It does take place with high schoolers, and I don't know, are they British or not? Like I can't even remember. But it does take place with high schoolers, and it's basically like this like awkward kid and then this girl kind of like team up, and they basically form this type of advice thing where like people can come to them for like sexual advice, even though like the guy is like a virgin and everything, like he doesn't even have experience, like, yet he's giving sexual advice and everything. And overall I feel like this show is like interesting and different. Like I've never really seen anything like that. That's why I was like, oh, like let me watch this, like it seems different. And basically like there's this one part in the show, I think it went viral on TikTok or something, but there's like this one part in the show where the girl, like this side character, she gets like sexually harassed on like the bus or whatever, and then it brings awareness to that, and it shows her like, you know, overcoming that and everything. And like I can relate to that, and I think like a whole bunch of girls can relate to that, and like boys too obviously. But like it's interesting to see, and I feel like the plot line wasn't really my favorite because of course like they pair up like the awkward guy and like the awkward girl, and then like they're supposed to like, it's like enemies to lovers type thing. And but I don't know, I feel like I didn't really like them together. I don't know why, because the guy, I think, is he the guy from Black Mirror? I don't even know, but I didn't really like them together. I felt like they were just kind of like an awkward couple, like kind of like, you know, Tom Holland and Zendaya, and I don't know. But overall the show is pretty interesting. You have to check it out. It's like hard to explain though, because I don't want to say all these like sexual words and get like YouTube gonna be messing me up and whatever. But yeah, you should check that out. The next show I have is Good Girls. This one is another one of my top shows. So Good Girls is basically about like this group of moms. They all have like different lives, you know, like the black lady, she has like her daughter struggling with like an illness or whatever, because I think like the daughter lost her kidney or whatever, so she's struggling with that. And then you have like the main mom, She has like 3 kids, like they got lots of bills to pay. Her husband was like cheating on her for like all these years, whatever. And then like the last girl is that other girl's sister, and like she basically has like a trans kid, so like the daughter turned into a boy, and you know she's kind of like poor too, so like they're like working through that. But overall, like there's 3 different women and they've been like best friends for like years, and they randomly rob a grocery store, bro. And it's like interesting to see, because I'm like, is it really this easy to just go into a store, like you figure out the times and everything and then just like rob them and you can just get away with it just because you're wearing a ski mask? So that was pretty funny to see, and I feel like the plot line was super good. And then there's like this super fine guy in the show. His name is Rio. It's like this nice Hispanic man, bro. Probably the most attractive one I've seen. I don't even know, but he's really attractive. So people watch the show for him, I guess, and like the girls' plot line, because like it's just so interesting how they do it. Because the wife, like her husband cheated on her like with his secretary at work for like all these years, and now she is like cheating on her husband by like working with the sexy Hispanic guy, and then the Hispanic guy ends up being like a drug dealer. Next thing you know, she's like involved with a gang and they're like laundering money. And I'm like, bro, it is so cool to just see like regular average moms. And that's the thing that I like about the show too. They didn't hire like some like hot mom with like, you know, skinny bodies and whatever. They literally look like moms. Like they're like not skinny, and like they actually look like moms. So I like that aspect of it. Like they're not like wearing like a whole bunch of like makeup, and it's not like perfect and everything. They literally just like look like regular people. But I think the show got canceled because the actors didn't even get along with each other, like the main lady and like the gang Hispanic guy, because the actors just didn't get along, even though they have like that like enemies to lovers type thing. So they canceled the show, and I liked it, but I guess it didn't have good enough ratings to continue. So that was pretty, and I was so mad when I saw that it got canceled. But I think it's on like Netflix, Hulu, and everything, different seasons of it. So yeah, I definitely recommend that show, bro. Last show I have for you guys is a show called Glow Up. So obviously you can tell I watch like a variety of different shows. I don't really care like to watch a specific category because I'm into like a lot of things. But this show called Glow Up is basically like a makeup competition show where they take like average makeup artists that apply for the show, then they get them on there, and they basically have to do these like challenges throughout the weeks and everything. So it's like they'll be working like behind the scenes of like a fashion show. They have to do like models makeups and everything, and then at the end of the episode it's like the 2 lowest people have to like go battle each other, and like they'll be like, oh yeah, now you have to do like a winged eyeliner, and then like the judges judge who has like the best eyeliner, and then the worst person gets voted out the show or whatever. But they do like super creative looks on there as well. It's basically like any type of competition where they have like the main thing, and then they have like the challenge, and then they have like the person who gets voted off and everything. So I really like the whole concept of it. I like that it's like totally random people on the show. Like it doesn't seem like scripted or anything, because makeup is like an actual skill, you know. You can't fake like a makeup artist skill or whatever. But it's interesting to see who they have on the show as well, because like there's this one girl that I follow on Instagram, and then I saw her on the show and I was like, oh dang, like that's cool, she got on the show. But then like other people are somewhat questionable because they can't even do like a basic natural face or whatever, because I think that was one of the challenges. And I'm like, bro, I can do makeup better than that. Like why are they on a show? But then like they don't get eliminated, and like the best person gets eliminated, and I was like, bro, that is insane. So I feel like the judges somewhat like biased in like some of the episodes or whatever, but it doesn't have a lot of seasons, and there's like not a lot of episodes as well. Overall, it is a pretty interesting show if you like do know about makeup or you like watching creative type shows, because I like watching that show, like shows like with makeup, as well as like, you know, Project Runway, fashion type stuff. So I'm into like everything pretty much except for horror. So final look, I obviously got to take my wig band off and do my hair and all that stuff. Yeah, that was it for this little makeup slash Netflix favorites video. I hope you guys check out some of the shows because like I said, they are interesting. Literally just read the description of the show before you watch it, like just in case or whatever, or look up like reviews. Just click on it, watch it, you know, just check out the other shows, bro. Like I promise you, like every single one of the shows I recommended is good if you were just looking for like a random series to watch. Just watch it for background music, whatever. But when you actually do watch it, you're gonna be thanking me. Yeah, anyways, thank you guys for watching this video and I'll see you guys in the next one.